comparing these two cars is kind of unreal. Like, this is a 5-seater station wagon with a huge caboose, and this is an elegant looking coupe. And I don't want to say elegant because it has the gold wheels, but this coupe is honestly, the purple, you can't really pick it up on camera that well, but this purple is actually beautiful. And I love the way this car looks. And I've only been able to drive it for about 20 minutes since I got it. And obviously I've owned this car for about a month and a half. So I've had more time with this car than this car. And before I can do a full comparison on this car, I want to mention a few things. In terms of aftermarket stuff this car has, it has a Nismo, which is just higher quality, I guess, downpipe or front pipe, as they call it in Japan, a cat, a high flow cat, and a exhaust. And that is all this car has. Okay, then we go on this side, besides the wheels. Then we go over here. This car has intakes, it has exhaust, the cat and the downpipe are all stock, it has coilovers and R35 injectors, as well as R35 coil packs. So this car obviously has had a little bit more done to it than this car. So the comparison, I just want to make sure we lay that out before we do the full comparison. But in terms of silhouette, obviously everyone's going to say this car looks way better in terms of the way it appears, because this is a freaking station wagon. But if you look at both cars, I'm not even gonna lie, if you look at both cars, and so this is my car, this is the car I'm keeping, this is the car that eventually will be for sale, because I'm just trying to drive, like I said in previous videos, I'm trying to drive all the cars. So Supra, GTR, whether it be R33, R32, and if for some reason I win the lottery, R34, S15 Spec Rs, I'll even S15 Spec S, just to see if the turbo actually does anything. So the Evos, obviously I can get Evos here in the States, but this is, if I can find one in the state, that's great. If not, then I'll just try to find one in Japan. What else? There's a bunch of cars obviously from Japan that you can, I really want to try out the, what is that car, man? Well, I just seen one in Jacksonville. What was it called? The Athlete V, the Crown Estate Athlete V. It's another wagon, but it's the one with the 1JZ GTE, but it's automatic, so there's that. So it's not really like a sport wagon. It's really just a wagon that's with a nice engine in it. What's going on? So car looks great. I did the last video where I showed off the car, but this video is strictly just to compare these cars. So now that you have seen the silhouettes of both cars, I've already shown you a video of this car, I've already shown you a video of this car at this point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive both cars back to back to see what it actually means to own a GTR, or if going the Stagea 260RS is probably the best route for you. So this is 2 seats in the back, this is 3 seats in the back, 5 seats versus 4 seats. So if you have kids and you only have 2 kids, this is the perfect car for you. If you have 3 kids, this is the perfect car for you. If you have more than 3 kids, you might as well get both, because somebody's gonna be driving this and someone's gonna be driving this. So I'm trying to teach my wife how to drive stick shift, so maybe we'll see. Maybe we can have 2 cars that are stick shift and she can't say, oh, you have 2 cars, you only can drive one, so which one you picking? So we'll see what happens in the future, but I'm gonna go drive this car real quick, then I'm gonna go drive this car real quick, and I'll give you my honest opinion. Obviously, like I said, this car does have coilovers. That's the only thing in terms of handling that this car has, but the intake, so it does sound a little bit better than this car. So while, you know what, let's do this. I'm gonna turn this car on. And I know I said they're aftermarket exhaust, so just keep that in mind. I should mention also that I've been driving this car around today, so this one's warmed up versus this one is a cold start. This is the first time I turned it on to get it out of the garage, but other than that, this car hasn't really been, it's not warmed up, so just keep that in mind. So now we're gonna go drive this car and we're gonna come back, drive this car over here, and I will give you my opinions at the end of the video. So make sure you stay around for that. All right, so first things first, I wanna say that this car weighs a whole lot less than the other car. I don't exactly remember the exact weights, but I'll put them on the screen so you can see exactly how much weight difference there is between the R33 GT-R and the Nissan Stagea 260 RS. So with that said, this is, you know, another pointer to make out. So this car, no coilovers, so see how it handles these curves. Pretty planted, pretty planted. Behind somebody now, so I'm gonna slow down. So handles, so far handles pretty good. Like I said, I've already drove it like 20 minutes. Pretty, you know, fun. So I just want to say that besides the car handling really well, because it does weigh less than the Stagea, it does actually pick up speed a little bit faster. But I think the Stagea, what it has going for it right now is that it has the fuel system upgraded. I don't know if the fuel pump's upgraded. I'll have to get in there and look, but at least the injectors, the cold pack, so the ignition system, the fuel system's upgraded a little. So all that could make it to where this picks up faster than the Stagea. Way faster. I don't want to say way faster. This picks up faster than the Stagea. So I want to say that because the Stagea has those little upgrades, I want to say that maybe it's pushing like 300 horsepower, and this might be pushing, well, they say, so from the factory, these are supposed to be like 276, 274, or something like that. But people say that technically they're closer to like 320 from the factory. So I don't want to say that, you know, it's pushing 350, but I want to say at least this one's like 290, and that one's probably like 300. But then the body weight and all that makes a difference in the car, so you gotta keep that in mind as well. So this car picks up really good. Aerodynamics are on point, obviously. Spoilers, it's nice. I kind of like the spoiler. I wish I could put it on the Stagea, but it wouldn't look right. This car doesn't sound as nice as the Stagea, but like I said, the Stagea has the intakes, so technically a lot of that beautiful noise you hear is from the intake. So this doesn't have that, so there's that. But it rides really good. It rides really good. These curves have 35 mile an hour speed limits. I just did that curve at 60 and it didn't even feel like I was doing a curve for real. The car does have some nice little pop, crackle pops out of the exhaust. I'll tell you what it's like. Comparing, I know this is a weird comparison. Comparing the two Audis, RS7 and RS6. One's a wagon, one's not a wagon. Yes, they're both incredibly fun, but one is completely different than the other because of the weight, because of the way they built it. So, yeah. So that's the way I would compare this. RS7 with a twin turbo V8 to RS6 with a twin turbo V8. So I think that's how I would compare this versus the Stagea. They're both incredibly great cars, but they're just different enough to be weird comparisons. All right, let's do a little 0 to 60 real quick. It. Nice, man. Nice. I got it on camera. Y'all can do the time yourselves because I don't have a drag gear or nothing to tell me how much time it took to get 0 to 60. But y'all look at the time. I'm not gonna speed it up, slow it down, nothing. You look at the time, that's what the time is. I think they say that the Stagea 0 to 6 is like 6 seconds, so this one might be 5 seconds. I'll have to look, but I don't think that they're much different. So, but this one definitely feels. But again, the entire exhaust system's done, right? The entire exhaust system's redone from the turbos, turbo back exhaust. Pretty much, it has a turbo back exhaust system because from the turbos, you got the downpipe that's been upgraded, you have the cat that's been upgraded, and then the exhaust has been upgraded. So the entire thing has pretty much been upgraded, and you can hear all the crackle popping in the back there. So let's go get the Stagea. So one thing about this car that I know that's going to sound crazy to say, that I actually prefer from this car than I prefer from the GTR, is that because it's heavier, you actually got to control it better. I know that sounds crazy. And that's actually a conversation I was having with my cousin is, yeah, all-wheel drive cars, you know, they're great. If you can put power down to all 4 wheels, that's great. But with a rear-wheel drive car, you actually have to be a better driver to drive those cars fast. Because at any moment they could, which we see in the Mustang car videos all the time, and I know I say Mustang, but really all wheel drive cars can do it, but is that they are going to be more likely to, you know, swerve, right? Swerve onto the onlookers on the side of the road. But yeah, so I haven't got to the curvy roads yet, so I'm just being obnoxious right now. So this car, essentially, I know it is a GTR at heart. It's a GTR at heart, okay? But it is a boat. Like, I know the R33 GT-R, people like to call it the boat GTR. This is essentially the boat GTR. This is like the actual boat GTR. It's a boat. It's a boat, okay? So this is the real boat. So you could get the body roll. Obviously the coilovers help with that, but you get the body roll, you know, like the handling is there because it's a GTR and it has the GTR drivetrain. It has the all-wheel drive system. It has the RB26, the transmission. All of this that is in this car is in the same car I just drove. The only thing that this car doesn't have is 2 seats in the back and a coupe. It's just a station wagon. So that's why I prefer this car. It's a family car, but a family car with a GTR heart. Like, this is perfect. Okay? It's perfect. Perfecto, you know? Gotta get that for the Cuban people that will be watching me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. I gotta get all my cousins need to drive this car. Like, I have, like, if you've seen the SRT4 video, the Neon SRT4 video that I made, everyone that you saw on that video was my cousin. So I'm only one cousin has drove this car. Nobody else has drove the GTR. So I got to get everybody to drive the GTR and this car so they can see what I like about this car versus the other car. And I don't even want to... Yeah, the coilovers help this car so much, like tremendously. They just corner so much better. Just corner so much better. But it does take a lot longer to get to speed because it's a boat. Sounds better because of the intake. So there's that. It's another thing going forward compared to the GTR. But like I said, the GTR, you put the same parts on the GTR, obviously the GTR is going to be a GTR, right? Like everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, a GTR. Like that's the, all right. So one thing I've noticed, I've only drove the GTR around for probably 20 minutes, right? One thing I've noticed, you don't get any looks in this car. Okay, like this is a car that it's only for you to know that it's a cool car. Like other people are gonna be like, oh, that's neat, that's interesting, that's unique, but only you will know that this is a cool car. Okay, like this is not a car that everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, a Stagea, oh my god, I can't believe you have one of those. Like, not yet anyways. I know in the future it's gonna get like that. Does sound amazing. Like it does sound amazing. I can't get over how good this car sounds. Like that's crazy. But yeah, like I was saying, this is a car that, you know, it's one of those cars you know it's cool. Everyone else, you know, there might be a few people that are like, oh dang, but most people are like, that's unique. I've never seen that before. The GTR, on the other hand, everyone sees that and they're like, oh my lord, a GTR. Oh, blow my mind. You know, like that's how people react to the GTR. That's just how people react. This car, people are like, oh, that's neat. Never seen that before. Actually, someone just pointed at the car as I was saying that. So I guess somebody does care. But just not enough. It's not the same crowd is not going to be interested in this that would be interested in the GTR. Now, obviously, there's going to be some overlapping because, you know, JDM fans are JDM fans, but most people that don't know what a Stagea is will know what a GTR is. So there's that. Make sure nobody's behind me. I'm going to do a little 0 to 60. Taking about the same amount of time. I'm not gonna lie, I might have taken about the same amount of time. But yeah, nah, Stagea boy all the way. Okay, that's me, Stagea boy all the way. I don't care what anybody say. You'll never get me to trade in my Stagea for a GTR. Now, somebody was like, would you take a R34 GT-R for your Stagea? That's a different story, bro. But I wouldn't trade this for the R33 GT-R or R32 GT-R. Nah. But I do like the way the Midnight Purple looks. And I even told my wife, I was like, what if I get Midnight Purple on the Stagea? She was like, heck no. He was like, nah, no, keep it that color. I do like the pearl white on the Stagea. I really do like the pearl white on the Stagea. But yeah, so now park both of them again. I already gave you my thoughts. Now, give you, I don't really know. Like, they're both great cars. I'm not gonna lie. Which one's better? I can't tell you. So, long story short, coming to conclusions, I'm obviously picking my Stagea over the GTR, obviously, because this works better for me, for my family and everything. So it's just a clear choice for me anyways. For you, which one would you choose? I should mention a few things. This car in the States, 60 to 65K on average. This car in the States, 40 to 45K on average. So would you take a $20,000 cut to not have a GTR, or would you pay an additional $20,000 to have said GTR? So ask yourself that. And if you made it into this far into the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.